Hi, thanks for checking out our channel here. This is going to be how to test and repair a Gallagher Fence Charger, Fence Energizer, whatever you want to call it. It's on an older style unit, a Gallagher M1500, but some of these I don't know, tips and how-tos will probably work for a majority of fence charger brands out there. So we're just going to go through and do a little testing on it. Well, the note on this one says the unit works, but the output is weak. So this is a 110, 120 volt unit. They don't make this model anymore, but they make a newer version. M1500 looks nothing like it, and it has nothing, no parts inside are interchangeable between the two. This is probably an early mid-90s model. They phased it out in 2002, 2003, somewhere in that range. And the newer one that's out now, it came out 2018, I think it was, 2017, maybe somewhere in that range. But in between there, they had another M1800 was out in there. But anyways, so this unit says it comes on, but no output. You can see it comes on, but well, this is a Fence OK light, so it takes about 3,000 volts to make that light flash, and so we must be getting at least that much, hopefully. We'll put a fence tester on there called across the red and the green, fence and ground. We're getting just about 6, which normally that's pretty good, but the spec sheet on this one says it should be closer to 8 on the reading. So we've got something in there not quite up to snuff. Plus, if it's hooked up to a fence, if the fence is pretty clean, it hopefully should be that high, you know, 7, 8, 9,000 volts. But the fence has got some load on it. You know, if that's only reading about 5, it might drag it down some because maybe there's something weak inside there. The capacitors could be weak, transformer could be bad, weak, or whatever. So we're going to pop this cover off, make sure there's no screws on the front. Yeah, it's a little dirty. See all the grime on it. It's been around a little while. So let's alright, first thing I want to do, since it is clicking and pulsing, this board's fine. That's where all the timing and discharging comes from. Let's test these two big capacitors here. These are both 30 microfarad capacitors. They're wired in parallel. They're stacked on top of each other. They're wired in parallel right there. You see jumper together. So there's like one big capacitor. So these together individually are 30 microfarads, and we'll test them. It should be 60 since they're both tied together. But looking at it, I think these are probably the original to the unit, so they're probably pretty weak, but we'll find out in a minute. So test your capacitor. This is a Fluke 115, but you know, not every multimeter can test capacitors. It's not a common thing you need or that you have all the time. So look at your meter, look for that symbol right there, yellow symbol, not the white one. It's not ohms, it's not continuity, it's capacitance, and that's what that symbol there is. So I'm gonna switch over to we're gonna get the little F on there. There's no polarity, so we're gonna cross it. It should be 60. Reading 48. Reading 48, so that's basically 24 a piece. So not terrible, not enough to keep the voltage down low. So we've probably either got a problem in this board here or there's a transformer underneath. So we're going to pop this board out here. You see, I don't know, I think it's just dirt and grime that's on there. I don't think anything's burnt. I think it's just dirty. Yeah, I think it's just dirty. Alright, let's take the fence tester. Now this, just based on experience of working on these things. Oh, look. There's a serial number on the inside. It was on the front, but it's all wore off on the front. But the inside has a serial number right there. See, 1999, so the thing's 22 years old. Alright, just from experience on this thing, the output across here with the output board out should be 11,000, between 10 and 11,000 on this particular model. So not every brand has an output protection board in it. This particular brand and model did. This does, since it does go across the fencing ground and transformer, with all these little suppressors on here, this does it does load the thing down a little bit. So if it was peaking out 10 to 12,000 here, or 10 to 11, whatever it is, with that board on there, it probably drags it down to around 8,000, give or take, maybe 9. So we're reading about 5.5 there, maybe 6. So we're probably going to be 7 to 8 here, I would guess. We're at 6. We were about 5.5, so it gained a little bit. So transformers are a problem. So the transformer's a bit weak. So now we got to replace it, because you can't repair the transformer. You just have to swap it out. So now one thing you got to be careful of, these capacitors here on any model and brand, if you plugged them in, whether they clicked or not, I possibly have a charge built up in them. You never know. You can take a screwdriver and jump her across there. I don't like doing that just because I'm gun shy of the noise. So I take a big resistor and I just bleed it off like that. Just put it across there and hold it against there for a few seconds. I typically don't discharge most capacitors unless it's a certain model. Then sometimes I will, because I've just worked on so many for different ones for so many years. I know where not to grab and how to grab. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull the primary wires off the primary side of the transformer over here. And then we're going to pop this clamp off here that's holding the plates in place on the transformer. And then we're going to work it out of there. And this has been replaced once before, 2005. So the transformer is 16 years old. So some point in time between 99 and 05, transformer went bad and they had to replace it. Maybe lightning got a hold of it. This one's been around since 05, and now it's gone bad. So this is trash. Now Gallagher no longer makes the transformers for this model, so we've got two options. I can retrofit a custom one that we have made for this unit, which is probably what we're going to put in there, or we can pull these plates out and slide in a whole different transformer altogether. So let me go over and take a peek at what I got, and I'll be right back. Here's the transformer I've got here. This is we have this custom built here in the States for this particular model. So the M1500, we have them put that on there for us. It's basically the same core style as the original, but it didn't have those tabs coming off of it. It has built-in wires, but the core is basically the same. The only thing I have to do is I've got to crimp on some spake connectors here. So that way I can plug them on to where the original wires went, because like I said, you can't get the factory transformer anymore. They don't make them. So we've got to do this. This is the only way we could still, because I hated the fact that they discontinued the part. It's probably been, let's see, 2021. It's probably 2012 or something like that. I don't know. It's been almost going on close to 10 years since they discontinued the transformer for this model. And they had an M800 look just like this one, except orange, and had a little bit less guts to it. Hopefully, if nothing's changed with the plates, should just be able to slide it right in place. Okay, that one right on. And take these lamination plates, stack them up in front, and I always check this thing out. Make sure it doesn't feel, it feels pretty good. Sometimes these things will get brittle. You can, well, based on experience, you'll feel them. You can tell how brittle or good or bad shape the plastic is. This one feels pretty good still. So we'll snap that in. And then get these wires plugged on here. So the black wire goes over here, this first tab. The red wire goes over here. And then these don't have any wire or connections on them, so we've got a crimp-on couple of male spade connectors on there, so that way we can plug it into the boards. Got to find the right ones. I got a couple of different sizes here. You get the right ones, and those will plug into that output board. Now the good thing is, since this didn't change too much and the voltage coming out went up a little bit, like 500 volts, that means probably this board's okay. Even though it looks kind of cruddy, that's, I think, cosmetic. I don't think there's anything actually wrong with it. It just looks like crap, but things just from the environment that it was in. Okay, let's put this board back in. Yeah, it looks okay. Before we put this board back in there, let's just go ahead and check across the transformer again. Just put the wires of our tester right across here. These are the wires that are going to go up inside that board, just like the tabs that went up there before. So we're going to plug it in. Yeah, it's maxing out now. The transformer's fine. So now we're going to take this transformer. We got 3 tabs up here that go, or sleeves, whatever we're going to call them, go to those 3 tabs for the output, and they got these 2 here for the transformer. So it sits like this. So he's going to put upper and lower wires. So this is upper tab, or upper sleeve, lower sleeve. So that goes there. That goes there. We will crimp those down, those little sleeves, make them a little bit tighter fitment. And slide that board up underneath there. And then it should probably go to working. Let's turn it back on. Working like a dream now. Let's take a wire, jump across just that kind of spark we jump with. The camera doesn't catch it, but man, it's a nice hard-hitting unit. So probably call this one done. We'll I'll probably talk to the customer about the capacitors. I mean, they're not terrible. They're not the greatest. They're rating 24, 25 a piece out of 30. I mean, so who knows? He might get another 5-10 years at it before he really needs to replace them. So might just save him the money now and maybe get 5 years and then maybe have to change them later on. But right now it's working fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. And the bulb's a little bit burned out there, but it's not bad. It's cosmetic if it doesn't burn out. So Well, we're going to call this one done and get this one back to the customer and hopefully ship it today or tomorrow or next week. Depends on what's going on the rest of the week. There's our information right there, fencerfixer.com. Our address. We also work with cattle scales and low bars. So hopefully you like this kind of stuff. If you got a fence charger that needs to be worked on, need some help or whatever, send it on in here to us. We'll take a look at it for you. Be happy to take a peek. And hopefully that helped you out a little bit on troubleshooting. Not every symptom ever is the same. You know, with the unit, not every unit has the same problem. So they're all a little different. So you have to kind of treat them a little differently every time one comes in. You got to go through it like it's brand new problem, because you don't know what's wrong with it, because they're not all the same issues that happen with these things. All right, so that's it for now. We'll move on to the next one, and we'll see you guys later on.